All right, today we're going to do this countries world map quiz. If you go into the options here, this is worldgeographygames.com. And if you go in the options, you can choose how many countries you want to do and then which countries you want to turn on. We're going to do all of them, 197. I think that means like all sovereign countries, because I think there's a lot more. I think there's more like 240 or 250 countries altogether, but I think in a lot of these quizzes there's like 195, 197. So that's interesting. So that's what I think it means. And in this video, that's a lot of there could be some information that isn't exactly correct that I'm giving, but like I try my best to do research and try to like double check my facts and stuff like this, but don't like, oh, he said it, it means it's true. Like, check for yourself. So I'm just giving that kind of warning just to start off. I mean, check for yourself. But because I'm going to be naming the countries, but also I'm going to try to be giving a little bit of facts about each country too. So with that being said, yeah, let's just go ahead and get started so you guys know where to play this if you guys want to do it on your own. And the reason why I'm making the video, not just because it's fun. I mean, that's the reason. Like, I'm having fun doing this thing. That's the main reason. But also, like, 2 months ago, like, man, like, I couldn't name 5 countries in the world. And all of a sudden, my sister's like, "Hey, I got this quiz thing that I'm trying about geography." I'm all, what is geography to me? We're not in school. This is in 8th grade. What is this to me? And then all of a sudden I started playing it. It was not this. This is just some quiz thing. It was actually an app on my phone. World Quiz or something. I think it's called like World Quiz. And it gives you a timer and you just start learning where the countries are in the world. So like 2 months ago, I could only name like 5 or 6 countries in the world, and now I could pretty much do all of them. So that's what I'm getting at. Like, all you got to do is practice. Like, if you're passionate about something, all you got to do is practice. Eventually you'll get it. So there was that. And then also, like, too, like, you don't really know what you like. Like I said, like, what is geography to me? I don't want to do this. And now I'm like, oh, dude, I'm into this. So that's the second thing. Like, you don't know if you truly like something until you try it. All right. Like, and the moral of this story is, I get it. Let's just play. Okay. So you can zoom in with your mouse, or if you need to know where stuff is, you can click and drag. Sierra Leone is in Africa. I always think Sara Lee cheesecake. It's shaped like a cheesecake. It's right here, and this is Africa, and it's got one of the world's largest natural harbors, Cape Verde or Verde. It's some of these I might be mispronouncing. It's either Cape Verde or Cape Verde. It's actually right here. Its main export is seafood and fish. Monaco. So let's zoom out. Monaco is in Europe. Monaco is the second smallest country in the world. It's right here. Monaco. This is a little bit different from what I'm used to. It's still doable. Like, I could see this and it's just like, okay, I could figure this out, but like it's a little bit different. And when you're studying geography, a lot of times like you want that familiarity of shapes and locations around it. So this is just a little bit different than what I'm used to. Colombia, South America. It's right here. It's got the most bird species in the world. There's like 2,000 types of birds in Colombia. It's like the most in the world. Brazil is the biggest country in Europe, or in South America. It's right here. 60% of the Amazon rainforest is in Brazil. It also produces the world's most amount of coffee. It's the #1 coffee producer in the world, Brazil. Vietnam is in Asia. It's on this coast. right here, Vietnam. That's it's got the biggest cave in the world, Vietnam. Slovenia. Let's go to Slovenia. Slovenia is, so it's easy to get Slovenia and Slovakia mixed up. Slovenia is right here. I always think, because Italy's the boot, and I always think Slovenia will slow down the boot. It looks like it's kicking someone, and it'll slow down the boot. Slovenia. It's over 50% forest. I think it's like 53 or 56% forest. Switzerland is right here. It's right above Italy. It's got the world's tallest staircase. It's almost like 12,000 steps. Vatican City is right here. Vatican City is the smallest country in the world. It's like 0.17 square miles. It's like a block. It's like 2 blocks. Bhutan. Okay, I like Bhutan. Bhutan's cool. That's in Asia. And Bhutan is right here. So it's one of the only countries in the world that has its carbon negative. And what else about Bhutan? They had a ban on plastic bags since 1999, I believe. And its capital, I don't know what the capital's name, but the it's known for not having traffic lights. There's like traffic cops instead of lights. Bahamas is in the Caribbean, like South America, right here. So the Bahamas are cool. So first of all, it's one of only 2 countries with "the" in it. So some places just say Bahamas, but I think the official name is the Bahamas. So there's only 2 countries in the world that start with "the," and Bahamas is one of them. They're made up of, I believe, 700 islands, and so it's right here, Bahamas. And it's got the largest pink flamingo breeding colony. I think it's like West Indian flamingo. It's like a pink flamingo. Yeah, there's a bunch of flamingos down in the Bahamas. North Macedonia is right over here. North Macedonia. It is made up of 80% mountains and hills. Italy's the boot. Italy's super easy. Like if you're just beginning, I suggest starting with either just South America or Italy. Italy can't, or not Italy, Europe. Europe can be kind of hard because there's tons of countries in Europe, but there's a lot of ones that you probably know. Like you probably know France, you probably know Germany, you probably know Italy. So that could be an easy one for you. Italy, pizza was invented in Italy. There's also Mount Vesuvius is in Italy, in Pompeii. It's like near Naples. I think it's around kind of this area, I think. So Italy. Yeah, Italy's the boot. Uganda. So I always think Uganda River, which is right here. Uganda. And that has the world's densest amount of primates in the world. Tuvalu. Oh, all right. Now we're getting hard. Tuvalu is oceanic. Okay, Tuvalu. So this is what I was saying earlier. This isn't what I'm used to seeing the geography on here. The thing that I'm used to is a little bit different, but this is very, I believe it's right here. I'm going to go here. I might be wrong. All right, Tuvalu. Tuvalu is the least visited country in the world, and it's also the second flattest. Tuvalu. Kosovo. Okay. Kosovo's the Christmas tree. So Kosovo's a little weird because it's located inside of Serbia. Right here, Kosovo, this little Christmas tree. It has the youngest population in all of Europe. I think like 70% of its population is under 35 or 30, somewhere in that range. Yeah, it's known as a youthful nation. Iceland is cool. I love Iceland. So this is Greenland right here. I believe it's actually a part of Denmark, but this is Iceland right here. It has no mosquitoes in Iceland. Liechtenstein. So Liechtenstein, I believe, is right here. Yeah, Liechtenstein. It has no airport. You have to take a bus from Switzerland to get to Liechtenstein. Mexico's cool. Mexico has the, right here, second most pyramids in the world, which is weird. Yeah, that was very interesting to find that out. Germany, right here, Germany invented the MP3 format and aspirin. And I'm thinking, of course the Germans invented MP3. All their techno tracks are like 12 minutes long. It was out of necessity that they had to make smaller file sizes. You know? Like, oh, we can't fit all our techno tracks on this compact disc. If that's a German accent, you know, we must come up with a different format. MP3 in aspirin. Micronesia. I found out something very interesting about Micronesia. So Micronesia is a huge area over here in the Oceanic. I believe it's right here. Micronesia. So there is an island there called Yap, or Yap something. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm just going to say Yap. Whether I'm right or wrong, that's debatable. It's called the Yap Stone Money. So basically, there was an island in Micronesia where they would go and they would sail like 150 miles down to Palau, and they would carve out big circular stones, I think out of limestone, out of some sort of rock. And they were super heavy, and then they would put them on their canoes and sail back to the island, and they would use that as like a form of currency. It's not like you go there like, oh, expect to see the stones around, like, and using them. That's not how it works. Their official currency, I think, is the US dollar. It's something other than the stones, but the stones are used in certain areas still for, like, major transactions. It could be, like, wedding gifts, or, like, oh, I'm going to sell this plot of land, and then now you can have the stone. And the stones don't really move. Like, they've been there for a long time, but what is relevant is who is the owner of that stone. And when the owner switches, like, word spreads really quick, like, oh, Bill used to own this. Now Dougie does. Doug owns the stone now. And, like, it's like this thing. Yap Stone Money. Look it up. It's actually really interesting. Bangladesh. Bangladesh is right here. And it has the world's largest mangrove forest, which is like I was confused. I'm like, what is a mangrove forest? And the simple explanation for that is like, it's like a saltwater tree. It's also home to the Bengal tiger there. Not exclusively to Bangladesh, but there's the Bengal tiger there too. Benin, or Benin. I think it's Benin. I think it's, and I might be pronouncing some of these wrong. Benin is right here. It's Africa's top cotton exporter. Uruguay. Uruguay is right here. Uruguay. And there's more cows than people there. They also are partial inventors of the tango dance. More on that later. But credit does go to Uruguay and another country for the tango dance, but also there's more cows than people in Uruguay. Israel's cool. I like Israel. Israel is right over here. Really small. Hold on a second. Israel, right here. They invented the USB. You'd figure out of all the places in the world who invented the USB. You would think it would have been like in like America or something, or in China, something like that. But Israel invented the USB. Pretty cool. Saudi Arabia is right here. And Saudi Arabia is 95% desert, around 95% desert. And I don't think that there's any natural rivers either. Saudi Arabia. Namibia. Namibia is right here. It's in the lower part of Africa. And it has the oldest uh, desert in the world, the Namib Desert. It's like considered the oldest desert in the world. Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is right here. It's the world's largest landlocked country. Panama. I like Panama. Panama's cool because of this interesting engineering feat that happened here. So if we zoom in here, this is Panama. Panama connects North America to South America. But you can't drive from Panama to Colombia. You have to take a boat or something like that because there's like a big forest that blocks the border. So it's right here, Panama. That's known for the Panama Canal. I don't know exactly when it was built, but I think it's like 40 miles long. So if you see right here, when I was reading about the Panama Canal, so if you're in, eastern United States and you need to go to California, before you would have to go all the way down under here, all the way over just to reach there. And you had to do that for a lot of other places. So if you needed to get, from Morocco all the way over here, you would have to go all the way down and over. And it added thousands and thousands of miles to it. I'm going to say a little bit more on that later when there's a different country pops up. But for now, that is what happened. When they made this canal, this opened up such a dramatic shortcut. So instead of taking months, it took like a few days, I think. Or something, I don't know. It shortened the trip. Panama Canal, it's considered one of the most monumental engineering feats ever done. Panama Canal. Syria. Where's Syria? How come I'm not... Okay. Syria, I believe, is in the Middle East. Where's the Middle East? Right here. Syria. Hold on, let me think real quick. This has to be Syria. Okay. I wasn't quite sure. Syria has the oldest alphabet in the world. Zambia. Zambia is right here. And that has big, copper deposits in Africa. Zambia. It looks like the Loch Ness Monster. A little bit, kind of. Like there's its head poking out of the water and there's its body. Zambia. And Zambia almost sounds like a monster name. That's how I remembered it. This is pronounced Djibouti. It's right here. It's this little dot right here. Djibouti. And it's got the lowest point in Africa. There's like some lake there that has, it's like 500 feet below sea level. Tajikistan. This is next to all the stands. So all the stands are located in this area. Tajikistan, I believe, is right here. And that's made up of like 93% mountains. Haiti. Haiti is right over here in South America. Haiti is right here. It's like this little bone thing. Haiti, and it's called the Land of the Mountains. It's the most mountainous region in the Caribbean. So this is the Caribbean right here. So if we zoom out, like here's South America, here's the United States. The Caribbean is considered right here, this little group of things. France. France is an easy one, and you probably already know where France is. It's right here. France invented the hot air balloon. Armenia. Armenia is right over here. Armenia is cool because they're a major player in like the chess world. Armenia, it's like a little armpit. I'm like, oh, Armenia is the little armpit wedged in between there. Armenia, it is mandatory in school from 2nd to 4th grade to play chess. Like chess is a mandatory class in school. Seychelles. Seychelles is cool too because it is the least populated and smallest country in Africa. Right here, Seychelles. Okay. Guyana. Guyana is in South Africa. Guyana is home to the tallest single drop waterfall. It's not the tallest. It's the tallest single drop waterfall. I tried to look it up, and I think it means like, I think it's like a waterfall, I think. A waterfall that just starts and it just stops from one point to another. It's a free-falling water. I could be wrong. I tried my best to look it up and try to understand what a single drop waterfall was, but the way they kept explaining it was just a little bit weird to me, and I couldn't quite understand the concept. But I do know it is considered a single drop waterfall. Guyana. Tonga. Okay, now we're getting harder. Okay, Tonga. Tonga is oceanic. I believe it's just right here, Tonga. Yep, Tonga. And it's illegal for businesses to be open on Sunday in Tonga. Most of them. They said that you can get special permits for like bakeries and stuff to be open on Sunday, but most businesses aren't allowed to be open on Sunday. Slovakia. Remember how I was saying that, yeah, Slovakia and Slovenia is easy to get mixed up. Slovakia is right here, and they have, there's like 6,000 caves in Slovakia. Lebanon. Ooh, that one scared me for a second. I'm like, I don't know where Lebanon is, but I do know where Lebanon is. Lebanon is, I remember it because it's on top of Israel. Lebanon is right here, Lebanon. And it has, it's one of the highest countries in the world for tobacco use. Like, half the adults smoke tobacco there, like 40 to 50% of adults smoke tobacco. Imagine going into a room and every other person smokes some form. It's not like cigarettes, it's some form of tobacco. Belgium. Belgium is located right here, and they invented the French fry. Croatia is right here. It's like a bird beak. I always think Croatia is like a mouth that's eating this country. More in this country later, but this is Croatia, and Nikola Tesla was born there. Moldova. Oof. Let me zoom out, because Moldova's small. I believe Moldova's right here. Moldova is a major exporter in walnuts. Antigua and Barbuda. That's in the Caribbean. So let's go to the Caribbean. Right here. I think this is Antigua and Barbuda. That's home to the Antigua racer. It's one of the rarest snakes in the world. They've got, there's only like 400 left of them, and it can only be found in Antigua. Burundi. Okay, so there's two countries that start with the Barun, and it can be kind of confusing, but I believe Burundi is in Africa. Right here, Burundi. Yep, and it's one of the poorest nations in the world. Cyprus. Cyprus, I believe, is considered Eurasia. It's both part of Asia and Europe. Cyprus. Yep, I think Cypress Hill on this. Cyprus means copper. St. Lucia. These can be difficult. Like, when you're learning the countries, the Caribbean is mighty difficult because there's so many little specks of land. St. Lucia is the third one up. So I'm going to say it's right here. Okay. And that's home to the St. Lucia parrot. It's an endemic parrot, meaning it can only be found in that area. So if you go anywhere else in the world, you're not going to find this parrot. The St. Lucia parrot is only found in St. Lucia. Romania. Okay, let's see here. Romania is right here. This is Romania, and the fountain pen was invented there. Ethiopia is right here, and it's got some of the best long-distance runners in the world. Also, they believe that coffee originated in Ethiopia. Australia is this huge chunk of land right here. and there's the world's longest fence. It's longer than the United States. It's like 3,500-mile long fence to keep wild dogs, dingoes, out of like sheep farms. And it's also the world's leading exporter in wool. It kind of makes sense if you think about the fence. Like how many sheep do you have if you need a 3,500 long foot fence? China, huge chunk of land. You probably already know what China is right here. They produce 60% of the world's caviar in China. Portugal is this little chunk right here, this brave little guy right over here. Portugal, they produce, I think, 40% of the world's cork there. Hungary, see, these things are getting blocked. It's hard to see what's going on. Okay, Hungary is right here. Yeah, Hungary. And the Rubik's Cube was invented in Hungary. Afghanistan, this is where all the stands are. Afghanistan's in the middle, and they're known for exporting like high-quality grapes and raisins. The Netherlands is right up here. Amsterdam is in the Netherlands, right up here. And the tallest people in the world, the tallest men in the world are actually from the Netherlands. I think the average male height is like 6 foot there in the Netherlands. There's also more bikes than people. I think it's like 23 million bikes to like, so I don't know. Let's just say there's more bikes than humans. You would think it's pronounced Lesotho, but it's Lesotho. Lesotho is a very small country within a country. So this is, well, I'll tell you later, but this is Lesotho right there. It's called Land in the Sky. It's the only country in the world where its entire landmass is above 1,000 meters. Kyrgyzstan, I think it's Kyrgyzstan. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's like this little squid-looking thing right here. Let's go over here. Zoom in right here. Kyrgyzstan. So there's Tajikistan and there's Kyrgyzstan. It looks like a squid. That's 90% mountains. So Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan is like all mountains. Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is right next to Croatia, right here. It's this little chunk, and they hosted the 84. Let's see. Bosnia and Herzegovina. I say Herzegovina, but it might be Herzegovina. Govina. They hosted the 84 Winter Olympics. Nicaragua. It's easy to get Nigeria and stuff mixed up with Nicaragua. Nicaragua is in South America. So Nicaragua is very interesting. I found this fact, Nicaragua. They don't have traditional addresses. They don't have traditional addresses. They use a landmark base thing saying, oh, it's a red house 2 blocks up from the store, which I could only imagine as being just absolutely confusing. It's difficult to imagine that. So I think they rely heavily on like phone numbers and stuff. Like, okay, I look for the red house. Where are you? Why not just give them an address and skip all that mess? But who am I to make up laws? Nicaragua. Ireland. Ireland is right over here. Right here, Ireland. And they got the most redheads in the world. Barbados. It's in the Caribbean. Barbados is right here. That's where Rihanna was born. And also it's called Land of the Flying Fish. They've got like the flying fish there. I think it's like the official dish of Barbados. Flying fish. The Jordan. Jordan's in the Middle East. So let's go to the Middle East. Jordan's this chunk of land right here. And that's where the Dead Sea is. I think the Dead Sea is like right here, where it's like on the border of Israel and Jordan. Yemen. Yemen is right here. It's one of the most water-deprived countries in the world, and it's also the only country that starts with a Y. Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast with the most. Ivory Coast is right here. And they are the world's leading producer for cocoa, like cocoa beans. The most cocoa beans in the world comes from the Ivory Coast. Ukraine. is this big chunk of land right here, Ukraine. They wear their wedding rings on their right hand. Jamaica is right here. Usain Bolt is from Jamaica. So if Ethiopia was known for its long distance running, Jamaica is known for its sprinters. Also, reggae music was invented there. Mozambique, right down here. Mozambique is right here. Not only is it fun to say, Mozambique, it's known for its prawns and lobsters, but also the largest ruby in the world was found there. It was like 55 carats. It's worth like 30 million or something like that. Yeah, Mozambique. Fiji is oceanic. So let's zoom out. Let's go over here. Fiji. Fiji is a big chunk of land right here, Fiji. In the 19th century, it was known as Cannibal Island. For the cannibalism, and they're also like walking on hot coals is popular there. I think they still do it actually. Guatemala. Guatemala is South America. No, it's North America. Guatemala. Yeah, because I think Squatemala. It squats right beneath Mexico, Guatemala. And they say that chocolate originated in Guatemala. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know, but the research that I did led me to believe that Guatemala was where chocolate originated from. Malawi, it's right here. I always think Malawi sits right here. Its main export is tobacco. Malawi, not very interesting. I'm sure there's a lot more cool stuff in Malawi, but this is some stuff you look up, man, you're trying to find something unique about it, and there's just nothing super great that kind of pops up. A lot of the islands are like that. They're like, oh, it's known for its diving and its seafood. Like, of course, it's an island. Of course it's known for that. Like, and so, you know, it's, anyways, Nepal. Nepal's easy to find. Once you understand where Nepal is, like, it'll stick with you. Nepal is just this little square, little rectangle right here. That's where Mount Everest is. It's on the border of Nepal and China. Sudan. Sudan is interesting because it has the most pyramids in the world. When you think pyramids, you think, oh, Egypt. No, Sudan actually has the most pyramids in the world. Botswana is right here. They have the highest amount in value of rough cut diamonds in the world. Tunisia is right here. It's known for its salt flats. Democratic Republic of Congo is this huge chunk right here. And the second largest rainforest in the world is like the Congo Basin. 60% of it is in the Democratic Republic of Congo. St. Kitts and Nevis. This is a hard one to learn. Where is it? Hold on, it has to be right here. Hold on, let me do the thing. Yep, this has to be it, St. Kitts and Nevis. Alexander Hamilton was born in Nevis. United Kingdom. He was like a founding father of the... It was something. Look him up. Like, he was born there. He's some famous guy to do with some founding father, whatever that is. United Kingdom is right here. So some places say, like, break the United Kingdom up into, like, okay, England, Wales, Scotland, stuff like that. United Kingdom is right here. It's this chunk of land. And the postage stamp was invented there in 1837, and it got started being distributed in 1840. Cambodia is tucked right down here. Cambodia. There's no McDonald's in Cambodia. Mauritania is right here in Africa. Mauritania. There's one of the world's largest ship graveyards there, like abandoned ships. Mauritania. Venezuela is cool. I want to visit Venezuela. There seems to be a lot of cool stuff about there, but one of the major things of Venezuela is it has the world's tallest waterfall. It's called Angel Falls. Georgia is also another one I believe that is considered Eurasia. Georgia is right here. And they say that wine originated in Georgia. Japan. Japan's right here. It is made up of 14,000 islands. And Tokyo was supposed to be the most densely populated city in the world. I think it's got like 42 million people. But I believe that there is a city in Indonesia that surpassed it. The Tokyo was always considered the biggest for a long time, but I think. But the last thing, I actually tried to look it up last night, and it said that there's a city in Indonesia that beat it, I think. So I think Tokyo is now considered the second most populated. United States, right here, where I'm from, and also they invented the credit card, and the internet was invented there. I think the first one was like the Diners Club. They said that there was something before it. There was like some store that came out with like, oh, charge now, but the majority mainstream thing was like this Diners Club, I think in the 50s, that came up with a credit card. El Salvador. So El Salvador, that was the murder capital of the world in 2015, I believe. It was like the highest murder rate in the world. El Salvador, this little chunk of land right here. It's also known as the land of volcanoes. There's like 100 active volcanoes in El Salvador. Chile is fun. I love Chile. So Chile's right here. They say it's the thinnest country in the world, but I don't know if that's true. Like, there's some other ones that look like, I think the Gambia looks way smaller or thinner than Chile. So is that true? I don't know. Chile, the world's largest earthquake in history, happened. There was like a 9.5. It lasted like 11 or 12 minutes. Imagine an 11-minute earthquake. Gnarly. Also, on the very bottom, so remember I was talking about the Panama Canal, which is right here, and then you'd have to sail all the way down and around right here. So this is like around right here. This is where Cape Horn is. This is considered Cape Horn, and it connects the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. And it's known for its really rough weather. So there's like, they say that there's like a ship graveyard here. There's like 800 sunken ships down here. And it was like a big feat to actually go down all the way through there and be able to say, oh yeah, I sailed through Cape Horn. It was like a really major bragging right for sailors. And like, I think one of the things, like they would be able to go into a tavern and put one foot on a bar stool. I think that's what it was from. I watched a little documentary on Cape Horn, and it said it was people, and there's like a hoop. They get like a gold hoop in their earring if they were able to pass the Cape. Montenegro. Okay, Montenegro. Montenegro is, I believe right here, Montenegro. I'm going to say it's right here. Like, Montenegro is right here. Yep, okay, good. Montenegro has the deepest canyon in Europe. St. Vincent in the Grenadines. It's the second one up right here. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies, like there was a major filming location in there for those movies. Malta. Let's see, Malta is right here on the bottom of Italy, Malta. And Malta means honey. Dominican Republic. It's this big chunk of land right here. The Haiti and Dominican Republic share the same land thing. So Dominican Republic, and it's the only place in the world where you can find the Larimar, not diamond, it's a gemstone. It's the only place in the world where you can find it. Malaysia is right here. Malaysia, let's see. Yeah, this is Malaysia. It's 2 chunks of land. Malaysia, and some of the biggest caves in the world are found in Malaysia. Kenya is right here. Kenya is known for its long distance running. Ethiopia and Kenya is known for its long distance, like famous for their long distance runners. Belize is little tiny chunk of land right here, Belize, and that's home to the world's biggest marine sinkhole. It's called the Great Blue Hole. It's cool. Yeah, Belize. I used to think this was Belarus. I don't know any facts other than the fact is I think it's the funnest name to say out of any country in the whole world. I mean, well, it's a toss-up between Mozambique and Belarus. So Belarus is right here. Belarus. Kuwait is a very small chunk of land in the Middle East. Right here, Kuwait. It has to, I always think, oh, Kuwait has to wait its turn. These guys go first, but he has to wait. Or she. Kuwait. Kuwait, nearly all of its drinking water is dependent on desalination, which must be so expensive. Like there's big desalination plants for its water. Argentina. Remember I was talking about the tango dance? More on that later. So that's where Argentina comes in. Argentina is a huge chunk of land right here. So the tango dance originated, like most of the credit goes to Argentina, but they said that there is parts of Uruguay that are also credited with the tango dance. Argentina also once invaded the Falkland Islands. So this huge chunk of land invaded these little Falkland Islands right here in 1982, and they lost. But I believe Britain owns the Falkland Islands, so that's probably why they had, huge military in Britain. That, Argentina, it was like 10 weeks. I think it was like 73 days it lasted, and Argentina lost. Mali. Mali is right here in Africa. And the richest person in human history is from Mali. I forget his name, but he was worth, in today's currency, $400 billion because he had a lot of gold and salt and slaves. Nigeria. Nigeria is right here. It's the most densely populated country in all of Africa. It also has, I believe, the lowest human life expectancy rate. I think the average person in Nigeria only lives to 52. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is right here. And Zimbabwe has the largest waterfall by volume. It's not the tallest or the shortest. It's the most by volume. They say it's the biggest falling sheet of water in the world, Zimbabwe. And it's actually considered Zimbabwe and Zambia because it's on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe. Guinea. These ones can start getting real confusing because there are, I believe, 4 countries in the world that have the word Guinea in it. Guinea is right here. This is just straight up Guinea. And they have big deposits of iron ore, which is used to make steel. See, Papua New Guinea. Everybody just says Papua New Guinea, but I think it's Papua New Guinea. Like I said, there's multiple ones with the word Guinea in it. And most of the Guineas are located in Africa, but this one is actually oceanic. So if you go over here, this is Papa right here. Papa don't preach. Papua New Guinea. Let me see. Okay, yep. And this has, it's the most diverse country in the world for languages. They say 850 different languages are spoken in the Papas. Philippines, right here. Philippines is made up of 7,600 islands, I think. Cameroon is right here. Cameroon is home to the Goliath frog. It's like a 7-pound, 1-foot long frog. It's like a gigantic frog. Mauritius. Okay, Mauritius, where are you? Mauritius has to be right here. Because there is... So this isn't what I'm used to seeing. What I'm used to seeing is every country. So right here, I believe, is Reunion. Mauritius has to be here because this is Madagascar. This has to be Mauritius. Okay. We got it. Because I'm doing the thing. I'm like, this has to be. Mauritius is nowhere else in the world other than right there. And there's only one thing to choose. But it still scared me. Because right now we're at 100%. We got 104. You can see the attempts right here. The score and the attempts. Mauritius, that's where the dodo bird was. The dodo bird was in Mauritius. It's also known for its stamp collecting. There is some of the rarest stamps in the world are from Mauritius. I believe because Mauritius is owned by the United Kingdom. So if the United Kingdom invented the stamp, it's only natural to conceive that Mauritius has something to do with them introducing the stamp to there. This is theory. I'm making stuff up at this point, but I believe Great Britain, or I'm not too knowledgeable about the whole United Kingdom, so if I say Britain or England or any of that, I'm referring to the United Kingdom, but I believe they own Mauritius and that is somehow connected. But like I said, I'm making stuff up now. Luxembourg. I wouldn't mind visiting Luxembourg. Luxembourg is right up here. It's this little chunk right here. Its capital is Luxembourg City. And they say that Luxembourg City is one of the safest cities in the world. I think the last murder happened in 1997 there. I think. But it's known as one of the... And go ahead, if you're watching this, go ahead and fact check me in real time and make sure this stuff is right. So you're not oh, it's a safe city. Could be the most dangerous in the world. Why believe me? Like I said, I gave you the warning. This is the research that I did to lead to these conclusions. So check for yourself. Bulgaria. Okay, Bulgaria is right here. So I know Bulgaria because it looks like a bull. See, there's its horns, there's its tail, there's its little paw. Bulgaria. Bulgaria is the oldest country in Europe. Egypt. Right here. Egypt is right here. They say toothpaste was invented in Egypt. Eswatini. That's another little dot right here. It's like the country within the country. Eswatini is right here. It's also known as a different name too, Eswatini. There's a couple of them that are known as something different. So Eswatini, I think, was Swazili land or something. I think it was Swazili land. So if someone says Swazili land, I believe it's also Eswatini too. There's a couple different things. And when the countries come up, I'll try to remember what the other name for it is. Like Ivory Coast is also known as something different too, but most people say Ivory Coast. Angola is right here. Its main export is oil. Like 90% of its export is oil. Iran is huge chunk in the Middle East right here. Iran. So, yep. 90% of the world's saffron is produced in Iran. And saffron is the most expensive spice in the world. It's like from the saffron flower or something like that. It's like this long, tedious process to get this spice from that flower. North Korea. If you go right over here, North Korea. It's one of only 2 countries in the world that don't sell Coca-Cola. I'm sure there's much more interesting facts about North Korea, but I chose the Coca-Cola one. And you can choose whatever one you want. It's up to you. This is the stuff that I found interesting. What I find my interesting could be far different than your interesting. United Arab Emirates. This is probably one of the most surprising things that I discovered, because you hear all these things about Dubai, and I had no idea where Dubai was. Dubai is in United Arab Emirates, right here. And that's where the Burj Khalifa is, the tallest building in the world. United Arab Emirates. Latvia. Remember how I was talking the tallest men in the world is from Netherlands? So Latvia is right here. It's right in the middle. And they said the tallest women in the world is from Latvia. Its also main export is wood. South Korea. Okay, so we just did North Korea. Let's do South Korea. South Korea, once again, I'm sure there was much more interesting facts about South Korea, but the only thing, I must have been tired and like burnt out, because a lot of times when I'm doing the research, I do entire continents at a time. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do everything about South America and quickly jot down something about it. I have a notebook full of them, so I can just double check. That's how I did my research. I just wrote them down. And then it's like, and then I'd go on YouTube and be like, oh, guess the country on the map. And then, so I would just guess the country, but I'd also give the fact too. South Korea has fast internet. I'm sorry if that's not interesting to you, but yeah, it's one of the fastest internets in the world in South Korea. Andorra. Oh, something real funny about Andorra. Andorra is so funny. Okay, so check this out. Andorra is right here. The way that I memorized it was like, and there's Andorra, because it's like it's the smallest little dot on the furthest side of Europe. So that's how I remembered Andorra. But there was a certain country we'll get to later. I'm not going to spoil it for you. There was a certain country when COVID hit in 2020, they started freaking out. They're like, all flights are banned to here and here. And one of the countries, they said that from this country to Andorra, flights were banned. And later they discovered that there is no airport in Andorra. Isn't that funny? So they're like, you can't take a flight there. We are the government of this huge country, and you can't take a flight there. There are no flights available to Andorra, sir. They didn't check. They didn't check if there's an airport. I've made plenty of mistakes. Sometimes I feel all I do is make mistakes. So am I rightful to make fun of them for making a mistake? No, but I thought that was kind of humorous, and hopefully they can too. Like, yeah, well, we're not going to make that mistake again. Andorra. There's no trains there either in Andorra. Yeah. Serbia. Serbia is located right here. It's right above Kosovo. Serbia. And they are a major player in the Raspberry game. I don't think they produce the most. I don't know where the most is. It might be Russia that produces the most. I don't know. I'm not even going to start guessing. I don't know where it is, but Serbia is a major player in the Raspberry game. Oman. Oman is in the Middle East. Oman is right here. It's known for its bird watching. Estonia. Estonia is right here. This little chunk right here. And the average homeowner in Estonia, it's known for like the amount of people that own books. The average homeowner in Estonia owns 218 books. Crazy. Liberia. So I get Lebanon and Liberia mixed up, but Liberia is right here. It lies on the bottom of Africa, right here, and it's known for its surfing. Norway is right here. This is Norway. And you can see the Northern Lights. There's a couple good places in Norway to see the Northern Lights. Norway also invented the cheese slicer in 1925. Norway. And I believe most of its population is in this area. Like, most people don't live above like halfway point or something, I think. I shouldn't even have said that, because I don't want to just start guessing. I'm just going to stick to the facts that I looked up, because a lot of times you hear a bunch of different stuff about the places, and it's tempting to try to add like, a little bit extra information about the place. So maybe I need to stop and just focus on exactly what I know and not start guessing. Senegal. That scared me for a second. I'm like, I don't know where Senegal is, but sure I do. All you gotta do is stop and think. Senegal is right here. So if Oman is known for its bird watching, so is Senegal. Right here. So Senegal is right there. Senegal. I think Sentinel, because this kind of looks like some sort of monster or robot. or something. I wonder if it's going to... Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm not going to give the country name right here, but more on that later. Turkmenistan. Remember, it's where all the stands are. If you hear anything with stan, it's going to be located right here in this chunk of land right here. Was it Middle Asia or something? I don't know what they call this section right there. I think this is the Middle East. This might be Middle Asia. I don't know. These are the stands. Turkmenistan. Right here. It's one of the least visited countries in the world. Ecuador. It's in South America. Ecuador right here. It means equator. There is a line in some city in Ecuador where you can stand on the northern and southern hemisphere at the same time. So I believe, like, so if Ecuador means equator and the equator is running through there, you can use that as a guideline to where the equator is in the world. So if the equator is right here, all of this should be the equator. So you can say, okay, if Ecuador has the equator, what runs next to it? I think that might be a good way to do it. Poland. So remember I was talking about the misinformation about the flight? It was Poland that was involved with that. Poland banned flights to Andorra, only to realize Andorra doesn't have an airport. Poland, they say that vodka was invented in Poland. But there's a dispute between Russia and Poland, but the oldest documentation is from Poland. Togo. Poor little Togo. Togo's wedged in right over here. Togo. Togo is one of the least happy countries in the world. Poor Togo. South Sudan. So if Sudan is right here, this must be South Sudan, right? That's where Manute Bol is from. That 7'7" basketball player from like the 80s and 90s. Manute Bol. Yeah, he's from South Sudan. Chad is right here. So Chad actually looks like a guy named Chad. There's his hair, his forehead, his nose, and his mouth. Chad also has one of the least life expectancy. It's one of the most undeveloped countries in the world. And Chad has, it's just slightly higher than Nigeria, I believe. I think it's like 53. The average lifespan is like 53 years old in Chad. And it's one of the most undeveloped countries in the world. Comoros. Comoros is right here. They're known as the Perfume Isles. So their main export is ylang ylang, which is like a key ingredient to the perfume Chanel No. 5. Yeah, the Perfume Isles, Comoros. Turkey. Turkey's cool. Turkey's an easy one. If you're trying to memorize what the things are, Turkey is this huge dinner table. Just think Turkey is served on the dinner table. Istanbul is in Turkey. And it is Europe's most densely populated city. Turkey. And also, I think it's the main exporter. It's the world's top producer for hazelnut, which is used for like Nutella. Iraq. Iraq has a very bold claim. Iraq, ladies and gentlemen, claim to have invented the wheel. And I'm not making that up. All the sources led me to believe that Iraq claims that the wheel was invented there. Well, you know, on Iraq's side, you have to realize that, well, it had to have been invented somewhere. Why am I to say it's not Iraq? But that's their... We invented the wheel, you know. Okay, Iraq. Fraggle Iraq. Oh, I thought I clicked on it and it didn't work. I'm like, what? I'm like, that is Iraq. Like, I'm positive that's Iraq. Guinea-Bissau. This is, remember, another one of the 4 countries in the world with Guinea in it. Guinea-Bissau is right here. And that's home to the saltwater hippos. It's like one of the only places in the world where the hippos go into salt water. Equatorial Guinea, another Guinea. So there's our 4th Guinea. We did Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, Papua New Guinea, and Equatorial Guinea is right here. Equatorial Guinea is very rich, but like 75% of its residents live in poverty. There's like a weird, like all the money belongs to like the government or something, and then everybody else is just super poor. Equatorial Guinea. Mongolia is right up here. I always think Mongolian grill, and it's kind of shaped as like a smiley face or like a smile. Mongolia. I watched a video the other day that says like 97 or 98 or 99% of everybody lives in Mongolia is in one city, like right here. Look it up yourself, but that's what the video claimed was happening. In Mongolia, there's more horses than humans. Peru, there's a couple cool things about Peru. Peru is right here. Peru has the most alpacas in the world. I think it's like 70 to 80% of the world's alpacas live in Peru. There's also a river in Peru that reaches like 200 degrees. It's like a boiling river. Albania. Albania. This can be a tough one when you're learning stuff. Albania is right here. And Albania, they shake their head for yes and nod for no. But I believe also Bulgaria does that as well. Singapore. Singapore is, you'd think, oh, Singapore. You guys have probably heard of Singapore, but did you know it's just a tiny little dot in Malaysia? That's Singapore. And last that I looked, it has the world's fastest internet. Is it still up to date? This is like, oh, I guess it's 2026 now. But like, that's Singapore right there. Nauru. Nauru is one of the hardest, most unheard of countries in the world. Nauru is the third smallest country in the world. Nauru, I think that's up with Nauru. So if Tuvalu is right here, yeah, Nauru has to be here. Okay, cool, we got it. Nauru. Okay, all right, yeah, we're still going. Okay, East Timor. It's also known as, remember I was saying like some places are known something different, like Eswatini was Swaziland. East Timor is almost also known as Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste or something, Leste, Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste is, oh. Okay, I'm like, where is it? Oh, here it is. It's right here. Timor-Leste. Right here. It's, yeah. Okay, so if the Netherlands has the tallest males and Latvia has the tallest women, the shortest people in the world are from East Timor. The average height, I think, is like 5'1". Yeah, East Timor. Burkina Faso, that's also another hard one to remember. That was the hardest one for me to remember in Africa. Burkina Faso. It's right here. And the biggest, what is it? The biggest film festival in Africa is held in Burkina Faso. Somalia is right here for its pirates. It's known for its modern piracy. Eritrea is right here. It means red because I think the Red Sea is right here. The coastline lies on the Red Sea. Eritrea. Rwanda. Rwanda, I think Hotel Rwanda. Rwanda is on top of Burundi. Rwanda is known as the land of 1,000 hills, and it's known for its like rolling hills there. Spain. Spain is right here. I didn't realize how close Europe was to Africa, so you can take a boat ride. One of my friends took a boat ride from Spain to like Morocco. They said it was only like an hour long. I think that's what she said. But yeah, you can take a boat ride from Spain to Morocco. Oops, I ruined Morocco for you guys. Spain, right here. It produces, I think, 44% of the world's olive oil. Paraguay. I love Paraguay. Okay, so Paraguay is right here. And so at the door, you don't knock. I mean, some places you do, they say, but a lot of places in Paraguay, you clap. at the door because it's so hot there and most people have their windows open. It's more etiquette. Like, oh, just clap. Oh, someone's clapping. Somebody's at the door. Also, I don't know when, but at some point in history, Paraguay decided to get into a war with Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay all at the same time. And it like killed like 90% of its male population. Like mass amounts of people died. It's like, all right, you want to fight? I'll fight anybody. And then it's like, well, okay, dude. Like, sorry. You know, Paraguay. Yeah, Paraguay. Suriname or Suriname. I say Suriname. It could be wrong. Suriname is right here. It is the most forested country in the world. I think 95% of Suriname is forests. Morocco. Okay, yeah. Morocco's modern life is right here. Remember I was saying Morocco? Morocco has the world's biggest phosphate deposits, which is mostly, its main use, I think, for phosphate is fertilizer. Phosphate. Sri Lanka is right here. Sri Lanka. It has the world's oldest planted tree. It's like 2,500 years old. It's like a fig tree. Cuba. So Cuba, remember earlier we were talking about Coca-Cola with North Korea? What do you think is the second country not available to buy Coca-Cola in the world? It's Cuba. Palestine. Middle East. Right here. It's this little chunk right here, Palestine. So Palestine is located inside of Israel. Palestine used to be Judea, where Bethlehem is, where Jesus was born. New Zealand is right here. No, New Zealand is right here. New Zealand modernized and commercialized the modern bungee jump. So let's see here. I'm going to hold off on that information. Maybe I'll bring it up later. But in the 80s, there was an island in Oceanic around this area where it was bungee jumping invented, but it was a little bit different from what we know as bungee jumping now. But these guys, New Zealand, made the rubber bungee jump. It's Kiribati. It's pronounced Kiribati. Kiribati is right here. It's this big chunk right here. And most of its water is reliant on rainfall. Tanzania is in Africa. Right here. This is where Mount Kilimanjaro is, like the tallest mountain in Africa. Sao Tome and Principe. This is a hard one to pronounce. It's right here. And it is the second. If Seychelles is the smallest country in Africa, Sao Tome and Principe is the second smallest. Republic of Congo is right here, or just Congo. The deepest river in the world is the Congo River, and it flows through here. Azerbaijan, that was a tough one to learn in Asia. So Azerbaijan is right here. Azerbaijan, and half of the world's mud volcanoes are there. There's like 400 mud volcanoes. Azerbaijan. Burundi. So Burundi is easy to get confused with Burundi. So Burundi is right here. Like, it's a rich country from like oil and natural gas reserves. Trinidad and Tobago is in the Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago is right here. That's where the limbo dance originated from. Sweden is right here. Sweden has 100,000 lakes in Sweden. Solomon Islands, Oceanic, right next to Papua New Guinea. This is the Solomon Islands. So the name came from, there was an explorer that came there and he discovered gold, and he thought, after hearing like local tales, he thought he found the source of King Solomon's wealth, which turned out to be false. And that's why it's named Solomon Islands. You would figure after they figured out that the story was false, they'd change its name, but Solomon Islands. Madagascar is cool. So there's a couple things about Madagascar. Madagascar is right here. So notice the size of Madagascar. Let's go up to United Kingdom. See, here's United Kingdom. It looks like the same, right? On the map, they look like the same size, but Madagascar in reality is about 2.5 times bigger than United Kingdom. Madagascar, 90% of its animals are endemic. You can only find them there in Madagascar. Samoa. Okay, so if we go over here, there's Fiji, Tonga, Samoa is right here. There's also a country right next to it called American Samoa. So Samoa, it's known for its like tattooing thing. I guess the English word for tattoo derived from a Samoan word that meant tattoo. Right next to it is American Samoa, and that's the fattest country in the world. Like 70% of its adults are obese. Central African Republic. Central African Republic right here is one of the poorest countries in the world. Central African Republic. Lithuania. Lithuania is right here. It's the little L. So if Latvia is right here, Lithuania is right underneath it. It's got a lot of storks in Lithuania. Dominica. This can be a tough one because when you think Dominica, you think Dominican Republic, which is right here. I'm going to say Dominica is right here. There's much more countries here, but it looks like they're not being recognized. Dominica has to be here because I think of Dominica as the 5th one up, but in this it's only the 4th, but it has to be here. Okay. Yeah, because it's no other place in the world, but it just looks, remember how I was telling you earlier, like, you're almost reliant on the geography around the place to determine where the country is. And when it's different, like they're missing a lot of stuff here. They're missing a lot of stuff in Oceanic too. Dominica has the 2nd biggest hot spring. Boiling Lake. I guess New Zealand actually has the world's biggest. It's called Frying Pan Lake in New Zealand. I should have mentioned that when that came up. Grenada. You think grenade. Duck for a grenade. It's at the bottom. Grenada is right here. Grenada is known as the Spice Isles. It's a major player for like nutmeg. Finland is right over here. Finland is known as one of the most happy countries in the world, and it's also the most coffee is drank in Finland. Like the average person drinks like 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day. And I think coffee breaks are mandatory. Like it's the law for Finland that you have to be able to go on coffee breaks. At work. That was something I just barely looked that up. But Finland, yeah. Indonesia. Indonesia is right over here. Indonesia is made up of like, I think, 17,000 islands. Indonesia. It also shares Papua New Guinea. So this is Indonesia too. And that's Papua New Guinea. So, let me see here. Yeah, Indonesia, that's where the Komodo dragon is from. And there's like 17,000 islands. San Marino. San Marino is in Italy. So there's Vatican City. So Vatican City is the first smallest country. Monaco is the 2nd smallest country, and Nauru is the 3rd smallest country. San Marino is the 5th. San Marino. Libya. She's right over here. Libya is right here. Libya. She is made up of 90% like Sahara Desert. I think it's the Sahara. It's 90% desert. Marshall Islands. I found out something interesting about the Marshall Islands right here. So Micronesia is right here. Marshall Islands are right here. The largest, most powerful nuclear bomb from the United States was tested there. I think in the 50s. Yeah, it's like a 15 megaton nuclear bomb. And to this day, there's still radiation problems from it. Marshall Islands, Maldives. Maldives is right here. It's the flattest country in the world. And also, they believe that Maldives is eventually going to disappear because of rising sea levels. Maldives. Czechia. Czechia is right here. And what do you mean, Czechia? That's Czechia. Oh, shoot. Oh, dude. We were at 100% and we just got it wrong. That sucks. Okay, well, you know, we all make mistakes, and that's fine. Czechia is right here. See what happens when you don't stop and pay attention? And I hit it twice, too. Well, Czechia, what's going on? And that's fine. That's fine. We did pretty good. Czechia invented the sugar cube. And it's so funny. I usually mess up on the easiest ones. I remember once I messed up on the United States. I'm like, oh, this is the United States. I hit like Canada or something, or I hit like Mexico. It was funny. Like, that was a simple mistake. I know where Czechia is, but like sometimes you just gotta take your time, double check, and then go. And I'm glad that happened. Okay, Gabon. Gabon is, where is Gabon? Right here. Or Gabon. Gabon is right here. And Gabon is home to the surfing hippos. There's hippos there that like body surf on the waves to kind of get where they want to go. Yeah, Gabon. Algeria is right here. This is Algeria. It's the biggest country in Africa. And they say that iced coffee was invented in Algeria, which kind of makes sense because if Ethiopia was the birthplace of coffee, you know, why not Algeria inventing iced coffee? Qatar. Qatar is right here. Qatar, a couple things. It's the only country in the world that starts with a Q. And Qatar has the world's tallest water slide, which is funny because if Yemen is one of the most water-deprived countries, just a hop, skip, and a jump away is Qatar. What are they doing with the world's tallest water slide? You know, oh, sorry, Yemen, you don't have any water? That sucks. Whee! And they slide. Maybe it's a salt water. I don't know. Qatar. Honduras. So remember El Salvador was land of volcanoes? There's like 100 active volcanoes in El Salvador. Honduras doesn't have any. It's crazy how things are like bunched up into certain areas, and then the other thing could be like the total opposite. Honduras. Vanuatu. Ooh, that is a very interesting one. So this has to be Vanuatu. This is Vanuatu. Vanuatu is the least visited country in the world, and I believe it's the second flattest as well. Russia. Everybody probably knows where Russia is. It's the biggest country in the world. Tetris was invented there, and there's a lake. It has the deepest freshwater lake that has like 20% of the world's drinking water there. Maybe it's that one. Who knows? Let's see here. Greece. Greece is easy because it looks like a grease splotch, like a splatter of grease. They say that the yo-yo was invented there. Uzbekistan. Remember, if it's a stan, you go over here. Uzbekistan is right here. It has one of the world's biggest gold mines in Uzbekistan. Laos, right here. Laos is known as the Battery of Asia. Its main export is electricity from hydroelectric dams. It sells electricity to China, Vietnam, and another country, which I'm not going to say because we haven't done it yet. Gambia. So remember earlier when we did the Bahamas, I said that there's only 2 countries in the world that start with the. The other one is Gambia. I believe its official name is the Gambia and the Bahamas. But a lot of places only say that, like, oh, it's Gambia, which, you know, sure. Gambia is this little snake thing here. Remember how I was saying earlier, too, that they say Chile is the thinnest or narrowest country? I mean, look at Gambia. It's right here. It's this little snake right there, Gambia. That looks way thinner. But, in argument's sake, Madagascar looks like it was the same as United Kingdom. And it's 2.5 times the size of it. So maybe things are represented a little bit different on the maps. But in my opinion, it looks like Gambia is more thin than Chile. Costa Rica. So Costa Rica is in South America. No, it's in North America. Yeah, I believe Panama up is North America. Costa Rica, or Middle America. Is this Middle America or North America? I don't know. Actually, you know what? I think it's North America. If I was to have to give a final answer, I would say Panama to Canada is North America, considered North America, but maybe someplace some people call this section Middle America, just like in Asia, this is considered, like Saudi Arabia area is considered the Middle East, but it is Asia. So I don't know. And then right here is Eurasia. They got a bunch of funny stuff. So I don't know. Maybe Costa Rica is right here, and they invented the commercial zip line. Like they say, zip lines have been around for thousands of years, but like commercializing it for fun, I believe, originated in Costa Rica. Niger has big uranium deposits, and also Niger has the highest birth rate per person in the world, in the entire world. The average woman there has 7 kids in Niger. Denmark almost looks kind of like a birthmark. That's how I remember it. Denmark is right here, but I also believe Denmark owns Iceland, which is like 80% ice. Or no, not Iceland, Greenland, which is 80% ice and glaciers. I think Denmark is a part of Greenland. But Denmark, that's where the Lego was invented. Oh, and Belgium. Belgium, that's where the Smurfs are from. Belgium. Yeah, the Smurfs were invented in Belgium. Ghana. Okay, so Ghana is cool too. So Ghana is right here. And it's the closest country to the center of the world, where the prime meridian and the equator meet. It's like 300 miles off of Ghana's coast. It's probably somewhere around here, the center of the world. Bolivia. What is up with Bolivia? Oh, Bolivia has the world's largest salt flat right here. Bolivia. Thailand. Remember how I didn't say a thing about where Laos exports to? So Thailand is right here. I think if this is like a rope, a tie on a rope. Thailand. It's the world's leading export in natural rubber. Canada. Okay, there's a few things going on with Canada. It has the longest coastline in the world. I think they have the longest coastline. Like 70% of the world's maple syrup comes from Canada. And Canada has 2 million lakes. It has more lakes in Canada than the entire world combined. Canada. Myanmar. is also, remember those names that also have different names, like Ivory Coast is something different, Timor-Leste or East Timor, Myanmar, or Eswatini, Swaziland, Myanmar, I think it's Myanmar, is right here. It's also known as Burma. Myanmar. Taiwan. Oh, I'm like, oh no, where's Taiwan? Taiwan's right here. Taiwan is the leading exporter in the world, I think, for semiconductors and like computer chips. A lot of clothes are exported there. No, it's a major, major hub for exporting computer chips and like semiconductors. I don't even know what a semiconductor is. That's just the information on it. Sometimes I want to look deeper into things. Sometimes I'm fine with just surface facts. Austria. Austria is the thing that messed me up. Austria. But you can see, though, like Czechia and Austria are really close. And I just didn't take the time. Austria is right here. Austria lies right below Germany. Austria. And Austria is... that's where Vienna is. And it has the world's oldest zoo. And I don't know, maybe Vienna is home to the Vienna sausage. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. South Africa. South Africa is the only country in the world that has 3 capitals. It also produces, I believe, 90% of the world's platinum, which is used for like jewelry and catalytic converters. Pakistan. Remember the stands. If it ends in stand, you go right over here. Pakistan's right here. This is where K2 is. K2 is the second tallest mountain in the world. Oh, Palau. Okay, so remember I was telling you guys about the Yap money of Micronesia? Palau is where they would sail to get the stones. So Palau is interesting because if you visit Palau, you are required to sign off on a pledge that you will protect the environment there. Yeah, it's mandatory. There's no way around it. If you have a passport, you have it stamped on there of a pledge that you're going to do everything you can to help preserve the environment for future generations, meaning like you can't litter, you can't like collect a bunch of like marine life and stuff. You can't mess with the environment there in Palau. Bahrain. Bahrain is tiny little dot. I think of it as the brain of Qatar. It's the brain of the area. It's a little dot. It's known for its pearl diving. Bahrain. India is... So China dominated the world for most population. India has narrowed it out. I believe India is now the most populated country in the world, followed by China. So India is right here. Oh, we beat it. That's it? Oh, see, yeah, see, it messed up. See, okay, so there we go. We messed up once on there, but like, that's not bad. I mean, what did we get? 196 out of 197? I mean, we eventually got it, but like the attempts, and the only time I attempted because I thought it made a mistake. I thought I didn't push the button because it's such a small little sound when you get it wrong. It's like a little tick. So I didn't think that I did it because I believe on another country I clicked it once and it didn't do it. So now I'm going to go over some of the areas where I believe that they didn't include. So this is like kind of like a bonus thing. So I'm going to say play again. It won't let me play again. Why not? Come on, play again. I'm going to refresh. Okay, so it looks like by default it does 0 out of 25, but that doesn't matter. So let's go to Europe. In this area, I believe, right above France, there's a country called Guernsey, which that's where the play Les Miserables was written. There's also a thing called Jersey. I always think Jersey Shore is right off of the shore of France. That's known for its bioluminescence beach. It's like glowing beach. it's like a glowing beach. Gibraltar is located right here. Gibraltar is around here. And that's where Yoko Ono and John Lennon got married, because I think there was some problem with getting a green card to like United Kingdom, so they decided to get married in Gibraltar. Where else was not? Let me see here. Okay, so up here is the Faroe Islands. Right here, there's more sheep than people in the Faroe Islands. Let's go to Africa because it's missing. There is Reunion, which is right here. So this is Mauritius. Reunion is right here, and they have some big active volcano there. Seychelles, Comoros, and Mayotte. Mayotte is right here. And I don't remember the fact about Mayotte, but that's the country right here. Oh, so right here, right here is Sao Tome and Principe, but right around here is a little tiny country called St. Helena. St. Helena is where Napoleon Bonaparte was exiled after he lost the war to Waterloo. I think it's his second exile, and they chose that because it's such a remote little chunk of land. St. Helena. Some places call it a country. Right? Yeah, okay. Let's go. So, okay, right down here, this is the Falkland Islands. This is where Argentina invaded. In 1982, the Falkland War, 73 days. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on with the Bahamas that they didn't include. The Cayman Islands are right here. It's known for its diving sites. There's Cayman Islands. Bahamas is right here. So Turks and Caicos is right here. They're known for its whale watching. So Aruba is, I believe, right here. There's three countries right here. One is Aruba. It's known for its high potency aloe vera plants and its windsurfing. Caicos is right in the middle. It's got tons of really good underwater shipwreck diving sites. And Bonaire is right next to that. It's the third land, and they're known for like scuba diving or snorkeling for their reefs. Up here, so it goes Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, and then not Mauritania, it's Martinique. There's a land, Martinique, that's wedged in between St. Lucia and Dominica, which is, that's where Napoleon Bonaparte's first wife was born. And then, so if that's Dominica, Guadalupe is right here. Guadalupe is home to the Guadalupe woodpecker. It's an endemic woodpecker only to there. Oh, this one's tough. Anguilla is, I think, right here. It means eel because it's shaped like an eel. There's St. Bartholomew, which is like a famous getaway for like the ultra rich. There's like super yachts and famous people. They're known for like vacationing in St. Bartholomew. There's a little chunk called Saba, which has the world's shortest commercial runway for airplanes. St. Eustatius is right above St. Kitts and Nevis. So if this is St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Eustatius is right here. St. Bartholomew is here. St. Eustatius is known for the Quill. It's like a huge volcano that like dominates the landscape. Have you seen pictures? I was looking at pictures. There's a chunk of land and you just see this huge, like, green volcano there. It's called the Quill. What else is here? I might be missing something. So, Saba, St. Bartholomew. Oh, St. Martin and St. Martin. It's part of the same land, but it's cut in half. One is owned by France. The other one is owned, I think, by the Netherlands. And one is spelled Martin, and the other one is Maarten, Martin. One's owned, the top is owned by France, the Martin, and the Martin is owned by the Netherlands. St. Martin. So St. Eustatius, St. Bartholomew. I think that's about it, as far as I can remember, for the Caribbean, or the Caribbean. You know, what tomato, Caribbean. I like to think when people are like, well, how do you pronounce Caribbean or Caribbean? Do you say Pirates of the Caribbean or Pirates of the Caribbean? I say Caribbean. But is that right? Depends on, tomato. Like Sudan, I say Sudan. But I think some places, or some are like Sedan. Oh, see, it didn't include this, so it's gray. So this is Suriname, and this is Guyana. This is French Guinea. This is also like 90% forest there. I think that's it for that. I think Hawaii is located somewhere around here. Like Hawaii would be right here, but you would actually have to go right here. I think Hawaii is right here. So if you're wondering where things are in the world, I believe Hawaii is somewhere around here. So there's Japan. I think it's like a 14-hour flight from like Seattle and Washington. So let's dive into some of these areas. So right here, if this is Malaysia or Indonesia, there's a little chunk right here called Christmas Island, which I believe is owned by Australia. I could be wrong, but Christmas Island, there is a famous migration of the crabs, these red crabs. Like millions of crabs migrate to Christmas Island. Also, right here is Coco's Island, or Coco Island, which I believe is also owned by Australia, but it's known as what's the best way to, like a plastic graveyard. They say like over 400 million pieces of plastic get washed up in this area due to currents, taking it from all over the world, or all in different places, into this area. And like 93% of the plastic is underneath the sand, so it's like super hard to clean up. It's mostly like plastic bottles, toothbrushes, straws, and flip-flops. Coco Island. Over here, so if this is Tuvalu, this is Tuvalu. Right here. This is Vanuatu. Right underneath it is Caledonia, New Caledonia. New Caledonia has the biggest lagoon in the world. Niue, it's a little chunk. If this is Nauru, and that's Samoa, Niue has to be around right here. Or it might be right here. No, this is Samoa. So Niue has to be right here. Niue is one of the last countries in the world to see the sunset due to the international timeline. So if you're in the country Niue and it's Tuesday morning, no. If you're in New Zealand and it's Tuesday morning, if you take a 3-hour flight to Niue, it's Monday afternoon. Huge difference in time zone. It has to jump like big time. So if this is Samoa, I already told you America and Samoa is right here, and it's the fattest country in the world. So it missed out on a lot of things. So this is Kiribati. Right here is where the Cook Islands are. Cook Islands, it's illegal to build a building above a coconut tree. I think it's to preserve its natural beauty. It didn't want to block out all the trees and stuff, so they made it law there to not build a building above there. Right next to it is French Polynesia. There was nuclear testing there, so to this day there's still nuclear radiation in these things. What else about it? The French Polynesian Islands. Oh, it's known for its black pearls, French Polynesia. And then at the very end is the Pitcairn Islands. So if you've seen the movie Mutiny on the Bounty, it is, or you know about the story Mutiny on the Bounty, it is about, I think, a ship from England or around that area, Britain, something like that, United Kingdom, I think. And then they sailed down to Tahiti to get fruit plants or bread plants. And then on the way back or something, the crew decided to mutiny against the captain, and so they stole the ship, threw the dude off on a boat. He made it back to a place. He eventually made it back, and so the mutineers went to Pitcairn Islands and they burnt the boat and hid out there. So I think this was Tonga. We already did Tonga. There's another thing around Tonga. So around here is where, not Faroe Islands, it's Norfolk Island is another country. It's cows have the right of way. That's a law there. Like if you're driving and there's a cow, the cow has the right of way to cross the road. You always have to stop for the cows. Let me see here. Tonga, Tuvalu. These are really, this is the hardest. This is one of the hardest to memorize where the places are in here. There's another one. So what is this? Oh, Wallis and Futuna is right here. It's either here, in between here, or in between here. Wallis and Futuna. It's known for its tapa art. So they make cloth, tapa cloth, from like the bark of trees. There's this weird process. It looks actually kind of interesting. I just kind of watched a video on it, and they were like, there's this process where like they make this cloth on there, and then when the cloth is done, they like do art and stuff. It's a big deal there. Wallis and Futuna. Over here, so if this is Palau, Guam is right here, and it has the it has the tallest underwater mountain in Guam, and right above Guam is the Northern Mariana Islands, and that's named after the Mariana Trench. So the Mariana Trench is right here. I think the Challenger Deep, the deepest part in the world, is right here, but the whole Mariana Trench is around this area because there's the Northern Mariana Islands right there that what's it called, that are right there. And then Hong Kong is somewhere right here. I think some places consider Hong Kong a country. It was on the quiz thing that I was taking. It considered Hong Kong a country. I don't know anything about Hong Kong, but I believe it's right here. It's like a little tiny dot right here. I think that's all that I know. So like 2 months ago, I couldn't even tell you where Colombia was. I could name like 5 countries. So I'm saying all you got to do is practice, and you don't know what you like until you try it. Like I said, and it can branch off into other things that you like too. So I didn't know I liked geography. So the majority of my life, I stayed away from geography. All of a sudden, I got introduced to it. Found out that, hey, it is interesting to know where places are in the world. And not only now am I interested where they are, I want to know about the place too. And it's really good for conversation. Because like you can go and they're like, oh, I visited Mozambique. I'm like, oh, I know where Mozambique is. It's on the bottom part of Africa. And Mozambique is known for its lobsters and its prawns. And the world's biggest ruby was found there. And it leads into so much in-depth conversation with people, you know. So once again, all you got to do is practice in life. That's all you got to do. Like, you just practice things and eventually you get it. When I got my car, it's this huge, it's a big car, and I was panicking because I'm like, it's too long. I'm not going to be able to drive. Like, dude, like after like a week or two, you get used to it, and then you're like, practice. I was freaking out because the car is super long, super hard to park, you know, but eventually you get used to it. Like this, the countries. I don't know where these countries are. Well, let me practice a little bit each morning. Now, look at that. Like, we know where every country in the world is. And then it branches off. There's so many things that can branch off in life just by, like, deciding to try something. So practice and try things because you don't know what you like or what you don't like until you try it. So anyways, that's, guess the country quiz. Yeah. All right. I'm going to leave off with a, with some music that I made. I usually do this for like my little playthroughs. I consider this a playthrough. Why not? We played the game and we got through it. We beat the game. So yeah, thanks for watching. Cue the music.